Is your due date quickly approaching and you find yourself feeling a little bit nervous because maybe you didn't necessarily prepare like you wish you had for natural birth? If so, you will want to watch this quick video because in this video I'm going to share with you 2 tips for natural childbirth that require no preparation at all. So first off, if you follow me on social media, you know that I give a lot of information on how to prepare for natural childbirth. But as I just mentioned in this video, I'm going to give you 2 important tips that you can do that require no preparation. And even though these tips require no preparation, they're still very important and they're things that you need to know as your due date approaches. Okay, so let's get right into it. So my first tip is to never find out how dilated you are throughout your pregnancy and labor. So your birth provider typically starts doing internal exams around 36 weeks. Now, I just want to say that these exams are optional and you have every right to decline them. However, if you decide to have them done, I strongly recommend not finding out how dilated you are. And the reason for this is that it's not a good indicator of how close you are to labor. It can actually cause a lot of problems instead. For example, let's say you're 36 weeks pregnant and you're measuring 3 centimeters already. You're going to start thinking that you're going to go early and you might start making plans for an early labor. Now, if you don't go early, and especially if you go past your due date, the anticipation can turn to disappointment or even frustration. And this is actually one of the most common reasons that women decide to medically induce. It's not because of an emergency or a problem, it's usually because they're tired of waiting or they're getting pressure maybe from their family because they thought they were going to go early. Now, this tip also applies to labor. When you're in labor and your nurse or your birth provider does an internal exam, you don't want to find out how dilated you are because it can crush your confidence. So if you're going through labor and you feel like, I got this, I got to be coming to the end soon, only to find out that you're 3 centimeters dilated, this could completely deflate your progress and make it extremely difficult to continue without outside help from your medical team. And just because you're only 3 centimeters, it doesn't mean that you're not quickly approaching the end of labor. It's common to go 3, 4, or 5 centimeters and jump to 10 in just a short period of time. Of course, it's nice when labor is progressing evenly, but that's just not always the case. And I'm a prime example of that. So a quick personal story. When I was in labor with my first son, I was only 4 centimeters after 22 hours of contractions. My dilation number literally didn't change the entire day. I found out from my midwife after I delivered my son that I had progressed from 4 to 10 centimeters somewhere between the 23rd and 24th hour. Now, if I had known I was only 4 centimeters that entire time, I'm pretty sure I would have given in to some sort of medical inducing. So as you can see, your mindset and internal thoughts are what gets you through labor. So by not knowing your number, you're going to keep your mind in that positive zone. Okay, and the second tip to consider is having alternative push positions. So the traditional push position is lying on your back with your knees up in the air, and this is the one that everyone thinks of when you think of delivering a baby. But when you think about it, it makes a little bit more sense to be in an opposite position, like on your hands and knees, or maybe in a squatting position, and actually work with gravity instead of against it. So if you're familiar with yoga, think of positions like downward dog or the cat-cow position. These are positions that will allow gravity to assist with the delivery. And just to add on to my personal story, I've delivered both on my back and on my hands and knees. And even though both births were natural and non-traumatic, I definitely would say the one where I delivered on my hands and knees and worked with gravity was way more controlled and gentle. So be sure to keep these 2 easy tips in mind as you get ready for your big day. And if you enjoyed this video and would like to learn more information on how to have a natural childbirth, be sure to check out my online e-course, The Mason Method for Natural Childbirth. Our course provides a process for women who want to have a non-traumatic, natural birth with no medical interventions and a fast recovery. In fact, over the past several months, we've had an 85% success rate for women who have completed our course and ended up having a successful natural birth, meaning they had 0 interventions. So be sure to check it out by clicking on the link below.